we've heard about paddle, but in our part of the country, majority of the people don't really know what paddle is about. Can you please brief us a little bit about paddle?
Sure. Padel is a combination of squash and tennis. Why is it a combination of squash and tennis? Because you use the tennis ball, okay, and you use a racket that is much shorter than tennis,
Okay.
made out of polyester, and you play with the glass. We have glass. The court is surrounded with glass, and we have the glass, which is used as walls. And so you play with the glass into the court. So that's where the squash comes in.
When was it established in Ghana?
So paddle is the fastest growing sport in the world, just for your information.
Okay.
And it's very well established in Spain and in South America.
Okay.
We introduced paddle in Ghana in November 2022, as we discovered paddle in the summer 2022. So we decided to create a club and bring it to Ghana for the first time.
When you introduced it into the country, what is the response from the society and the masses? Or you've not gone out there yet for a larger picture?
Okay, so it's a very good question. When we introduced paddle in Ghana, it's our club who introduced paddle in Ghana. The Professional Padel Association was not created yet. It was just created this year.
Okay.
So it took us some time to get our papers straight, to get to file for the association, and to follow the process to create an association. So it takes a long time. But in the meantime, we started with 8 people that wanted to play paddle, they knew of paddle, and then today we have a community of more than 600-700 people.
Okay, so can you educate Ghanaians about how the paddle is?
Well, it's smaller than the tennis courts. It's surrounded with glass and a fence. If the ball goes out, it's out. You play, instead of serving like a tennis serve, you serve underhand. Okay. You count the score the same thing as tennis, and the difference is you play 2 against 2, and you are allowed to use the glass to play the points or to return the ball to your opponents.
Okay.
And then whoever wins the point, then the score goes 15-love, 30-love, 30-15, 40-all, and then game. You know, and the score is the same as tennis.
There is another rule. I think it was introduced in the year 2021, 2022. The golden point.
It always existed in tennis, the golden point. It depends on the format that you want to use in a tournament, you know. But we use golden point. So once you get to 40-all, then whoever wins the next point wins the game, and so that it makes the game, the match goes faster a bit.
Okay, you are into paddle.
Yes.
What really inspired you?
Well, what really inspired me is that my background is tennis. I was a tennis professional. I was 900 in the world. So whenever I decided to start my career a long time ago, I started going into business, and then like I said, I recently discovered paddle in summer 2022, and I fell in love with it because it's a game that you play 2 against 2, so you play with your friends and you have a lot of fun. You find yourself in different positions, and it's a great bonding sport for a company or community, and you know, you have a lot of fun.
What has been the experience so far? The highlights of those tournaments?
Okay, first I have to take you back last year, because we started the tournament last year.
Okay.
In I believe it's in May. I don't have the schedule on top of my head. And then we started with I think 8 teams. Then the next tournament was in September. We went to 16 or 17 teams.
Okay.
Then the following one was in December. We went to 32 teams. So it kept on growing and growing as we went. We had the season started in February this year, and we had 50 teams. And the last tournament that just finished last weekend, actually, is still ongoing with this weekend because of the rain last week.
Okay.
So we had to do it over 2 weekends. But we had 70 teams. Okay.
Okay.
When I say 70 teams, it's not in one category. I mean, we have 5 categories. So we have the prize money, which is the professional players.
Okay.
Okay. In our level, we have the P50 men P50, which is the level below the professional. Then you have the women P50. Then you have the teenagers tournament, which is from 13 to 16. And you have the kids tournament, which is from 8 years old to 12 years old. Okay. So all combined, we had 70 teams.
Okay. The teams that you are talking about, is it a club teams or national teams?
No. It's just individual teams. Let's say we announce that we have a tournament next week, and whoever wants to register for this with this partner is most welcome to do so. So that you don't have to be affiliated to a country or to a club.
Okay.
Okay. It's just a tournament within the country, so anybody can register.
Okay. What has been the challenge when you entered into Ghana, discovered it, and now being the president of the association? What has been the biggest challenge?
Well, right now we are at the beginning of the presidency. So we just, like I said, we just created the association early this year. So now we were the first club that opened in Ghana, and we're having different clubs opening. We have one more club that is open already, and we have other clubs opening soon. So we need more clubs and more paddle courts around in Ghana for the game to be to develop, to be a success. We also need to introduce this sport to schools, and this will help the youth know about the sports, grow with the sports, love the sports, and involve themselves in the sports.
Which kind of category of schools are you looking up to?
All categories, from young age to from let's say 8 years old to teenagers, to 16, 17, 18 years old. So even university, it's a great sports to have at university. I know you have soccer, I know you have tennis, and you have swimming and all of that. So I think it's a great sport that a university should have.
Okay, looking at the schools, they don't have the facility for that. So how will you introduce the game to them?
We're on the process of studying this aspect. We haven't, we are at the start of the federation, so that means we have to put everything from scratch into something that looks, reasonable, and something that looks as a federation or an association. So we have a lot of parameters that we have to work on. We have a lot of things that we want to do to develop the sports in Ghana, and I believe we'll do as best as we can, of course. We are going to be looking at sponsors to help us develop the sports in different areas, where schools, universities, clubs, and so on.
Okay. Talking about that, how do you balance the interest in professional play compared to other areas?
Well, paddle is kind of new in Ghana yet, so give us our time to make the community grow, make the community be aware of what is paddle, learn how to play paddle, and to do so, I'm not an expert, but we bring experts to come here in Ghana and teach us what we should do, how we should move, what step we should take. So we are learning as we progress, as we move, Okay. And I think it's just a process, It's just a process. We have to have the good foundation at the beginning, and then learn how to move forward.
Can you brief us through what will be the short-term plan as the time goes on?
The short-term plan is first to really well establish the association, have many clubs, many clubs in Accra and Ghana to open. We would like these clubs to participate in the championship that we have launched, so that we can create and have a national team of Ghana, so that we can represent our country outside in international tournaments. Then the next step is to create
have competitions.
Not a competition, to create to have a paddle court into schools, so that the youth can embrace this sport, can like the sport, can grow with this sport, to be able to improve in the sport, and to be able to like the sport and grow with it. So that's the next step, to introduce this sport into schools.
In Ghana, we have the Tennis Association, same as the Squash Association. So are you going to collaborate with both associations to see whether if they can have a club that can represent a as part of the clubs in the paddle?
We are ready to collaborate with anybody that is willing to collaborate with us. We're just right now focused on putting the federation, the association all together in a strong manner, and it takes some time. Like I said, we just created the association, and we need some time to be well established and stable, to be able to contact other federation or association to be partnered with them. But we're ready to work with anybody. We're open, and we want the sports to grow as much and as fast as possible.
Have you fostered in any collaboration with other federations, other federations outside the continent?
Yes, we are registered with the FIP, which is the International Federation of Padel.
Okay.
And we have also registered the association with the CAP, which is the Confederation of African Padel. We are looking to register our association with the Olympic Committee. And then after that, once we've established this, we've established what we want to do in the national ground, then we'll decide where to move from and where to go, who to collaborate with in terms of other federation, other countries' federation.
Okay. Have you met the sports minister to have conversation about what you intend to do for the Padel Federation? Have you met with the minister?
We had the day we launched the association, we had the press conference.
Okay.
And the sports minister was supposed to attend, and unfortunately he was busy somewhere else. But then he sent one of his representatives.
Okay.
And we talked, we laid down what we wanted to do, and hopefully we'll be able to meet in the near future.
Okay. So since then, you've not met the ministry yet?
No, we have a lot of work on the ground to do first, and then after we'll meet. We have a lot of things to do. We cannot go and not have done the minimum. We have a lot of things to establish on the ground, and once we will have done this, then we can meet the minister. I'm sure they don't want to meet for just a meeting. They want to know what we're going to do, what is the trend, what is the projection for the youth, for the Ghanaians. So we want to be well established before we can meet them.
Okay. So far, how many courts do you have in the country?
We have 8 courts in the country, and we have 3 more coming up. It's a different club opening soon, and I'm sure as the time goes on, other clubs will open. But right now we have 8 courts.
So talking about the clubs, do they have specific names for their clubs, or is just a normal name that we go by? Maybe, for instance, taking soccer, for instance, maybe we have the Barcelonas, we have the Asante Kotokos, the Hearts of Folks. Do you have names for the other clubs?
Yeah, I don't get to choose a name for the clubs, but we have 2 clubs that are open and they have names. One is called Mamba Club, which is located in Cantonment Laboni. Okay. And then we have the S2 Sports Complex, which is located on Spintex Road.
Okay, S2 Sports Complex and Mamba Club. So far, these are the 2 registered names that you are working with in the country at the moment.
Yes.
We've talked about how you'll be introducing it into the schools. So how fast is this going to be?
I don't know how fast yet. We're still in the process of establishing ourselves, our association, and putting the strong foundation on the ground. So I don't know how fast, but we're working towards it. This is our target. This is our goal, that the sports grows as much as it's grown in the world, and we want it to grow here. We went to Senegal and Ivory Coast. Over there in Ivory Coast they have over 50 courts. In Senegal they have over 40 courts. So,
wow.
But in Senegal they have started paddle 7 years ago. Okay. In Abidjan and Ivory Coast they have started paddle 4 years ago. We are just 2 years into it. So we're building slowly but surely.
Okay. What should the community be expecting? Like individuals who wants to be part, do they have to join from the club, or there is an open space for them?
No, they can join any club they want. I mean, there's not like a club fee or anything. What you have to do is get a group together that wants to play paddle with you, and reserve a court and rent the court, and then just go out and play. You don't have to be a member at the club. There's no membership.
Okay. For instance, looking at the University of Ghana, Legon, uh, they have a tennis court. If they want to put up a structure, a paddle court, uh, what will be the dimensions? We know every court has a dimension. What will be the dimension if someone wants to establish the courts?
Okay, a paddle court is very simple. It's 10 meters by 20 meters. That's
10 meters by 20?
By 20 meters.
Oh, okay.
That's 200 square meter.
Okay.
That's the size of a paddle court. You don't need anything more than that. All you need to do is a strong slab, concrete slab that you put on the base, and then you put your paddle courts on top. That's all.
Looking for in terms of a
Well,
larger
we are looking to grow the sports as fast and as much as we can. Like I said earlier, by clubs growing up, by introducing it to schools and into universities, and pushing it from the federation, the association. We have about 5 to 6 players training for the national team, which are on the top of the ranking of the Professional Padel Association, because we do have a ranking after each tournament. We have a ranking, yes, we're scouting anybody that is capable of participating and representing our great nation at the international level or locally.
Okay. Is paddle part of the Olympic Games?
Not yet, not yet. They're supposed to introduce it this year in Paris.
Okay.
Okay, and hopefully within the next 4 years it will be introduced at the Olympics.
Okay. Then we'll be seeing for that Ghanaian team will be representing us in the Olympic Games in the next 4 years.
Exactly.
What are you telling the paddle community, the fans outside the world, what it takes to join paddle?
Well, first we started with all the tennis players that we converted into paddle. So the first base is if you're a tennis player or a squash player, it's easy for you to adapt to paddle, okay, because you have a bit of tennis into it and you have a bit of squash into it. I will hope that anybody that is interested into any sports comes and discover paddle, because that's the only way to test it, to like it, to fall in love with it. The few people that came and tested it, okay, they fell in love with it and they became part of the community. So the only thing is, the more paddle court we put in across the country,
okay,
whether it's as club, whether it's in hotels, whether it's in at schools or universities, the more people will join the paddle community, because it's a great sport, it's a fun sport, and it's a great bonding sport.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and a great social sport.
Okay. If someone wants to contact or maybe wants to join,
yes, they're most welcome to join. Like I said, we have 2 clubs.
Yeah.
The S2 Sports Complex, which is located on Spentex Road,
okay,
next to Orca, or you have the Mamba Club, which is located in Laboni Cantonal.
okay,
And like I said, there's no membership needed. You can just walk in, reserve a court, and come with your partners, because you need to be 4 on the court. You don't have to, but if you want just to have fun, you can be 2 or 3 or whatever. But to play a proper game of paddle, you have to be 4. And then you just rent your court and play. I mean, it's as simple as that. If you don't have the equipment, the racket, you can rent it at the different facilities, or you can buy your own racket. It's up to you.
You just have to team up, go and rent the courts.
Yes.
Okay, but don't you have professional coaches?
Yes, we do have professional coaches.
So if someone wants to learn, how does the person go?
Well, they can book a lesson. They will have to go to the different clubs, ask who are the coaches, and meet with the coaches, and book a lesson with this coach, and then start paddle like this. We have a lot of people starting paddle recently, and discovering paddle, starting, taking lessons, learning about the game. Even though they have just started, they're still competing in our competition.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Noel Said.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
My pleasure.